అందరు వర్క్ చేయండి. So today we are going to see about the next topic, that is a bug free release. Right, the name itself we can understand that bug free, okay, without any error, without any defects, we release the product so that the customer will be happy and or simultaneously organization will be happy, right? So bug free release, to happen this bug free release, what are the things we have to do and what are the commitments, how the organization will be working on that, okay, without any without focusing on the testing phase, okay, how they will be releasing confidently, right? So that is the bug free release. So here no bugs in the sense, confidently we can say that there is not even a single bug in that, okay, without doing any testing, okay. So we confidently release without a dedicated testing phase, okay, without testing phase, if we release that product, okay, without any or without any defects, okay, that thing we can say that it is a bug free product, right? How is this possible means, mainly this can be possible with the help of these expert teams and the model and the methods which we are using and implementing in our projects, right? This expert team will be involving in that and achieving all the dramatically, okay, dramatically, and they will be running and working on that project to get some lower bug rates, right? So by using this expert, mainly here it will be providing some lower bug rates, right? So team average one and off bug per month is a very difficult domain, okay. If team is full, then easily we can work and involve in that. If team is average, okay, few members are there means unable to work on that half bugs per month, right? So at that time it will become a difficult to us to work on that, right? So there will be an independent analysis for the company practicing, like a variant, how the XP we have to use and implement, and what are the things involved in that, okay. These all things we are going to be doing some practices on that. So how it is providing the variant of experience, here will be the quick silver scalable multicast. Okay, quick silver scalable multicast simply can be said as QSM, right? This will be associates the reported and average reductions. Okay, it will be associated for the average reductions from whatever the defects has been arise, okay. They will be reducing based on this using this QSM, and whatever the defects has been raised, approximately some count will be 2270 to 381 defects, okay. These many defects can be raised in that, okay. More than this means it will be a problematic and unable to solve this, right? So all you need is simply one commitment to follow this all XP practices. If commitment is there and team is supporting, organization is also providing all the requirements according to your need and the requirements, right? So if these all things are there means definitely we can reduce the defect rate, right? And we can, team should be a perfect one, and there should be an independent analysis, okay. Whenever the defects are arising, everyone have to be involved and have to take some commitment, okay, to reduce that all the defects. And mainly the organization is also should support that team and the persons who are involving in that projects, right? Like experienced persons, if they share their ideas, okay, their whatever the views, then easily we can work out on that, right? So we can release a product as a bug free. So how to achieve nearly zero bugs? I said that whenever we are releasing any product or a project in a company, mainly it consists of some few defects, okay, at least 0.2, 0.5, like that, at least so minimum. At here, whenever we are using some agile approach, okay, to generate fewer defects, So at 0.22 defects per function, this results far exceeds the one of the person who is working and expecting 2 defects per function point. Like whatever the one or two defects are okay. Okay, 1 or 2 defects are okay. The person who is working on this Jones, right? He was expecting 1 or 2 defects on that particular product or on that. Okay, if it is there, nothing will happen. 0 defect minimum will be there, but it should not exceed that, right? So to achieve these results, XP uses some cocktail techniques ma. Okay, some techniques it will be using, means what they will be using. The first one, they will be writing some fewer bugs by using a wide variety of technical organizational practices. Whoever has been experienced and whoever have a lot of practices on that particular XP, whenever they are working on that, definitely few bugs only will be there. May be chances, okay, there may be chances of few bugs are going to be arise, right? And the second, here it is going to be eliminate the bugs. Okay, it is going to be eliminate the bugs. How it will be eliminating the bugs? Okay, from ground. Okay, from ground they are doing the working. Okay, whatever the problems they have occurred, they will be doing some refactoring, means they will be doing some changes and they will be eliminating that particular design code. Okay, like that. So eliminate the bug. The second one is the bug. This is also one of the technique to achieve this XP result, means breeding the grounds by refactoring poorly designed code. Whatever the code has been not working and it is not supporting to that particular platform, then we have to design according to that. We have to follow the refactoring technique, right? And next, third one is the fix bugs quickly. Whenever we are working on particular test or writing some test, we have to prevent them, right, from reoccurring. Means again and again the bugs should not raise same like that only ma. So we have to fix that, right? And the associated design flaws that are likely to breed more bugs. So whatever the bugs has been raised, we have to fix, have to solve it. Okay, we should not keep it aside until and unless another code has been included in that, right? So fourth, test your process by using some methods, testing methods like unit testing, integration testing, and try to expose all the systematic problems and hidden assumptions. Whatever the things you have done, whatever the things you have not done, just try to explain and involve your team members. Try to expose them. Okay, don't hide anything from the customer as well as with your team members. If they know, they will be involving and they will be working on that, right? And fifth, fix your processes by uncovering categories of mistakes and making them make mistakes impossible, right? So we should not cover anything, right? We should make it possible. Whenever the mistakes have been done, we have to discuss with our team and involve the stakeholder and take the clarity and try to reduce that problem and try to fix that. But don't try to uncover that all things, right? So definitely there will be a 0.22 defects. Okay, at least 1 or 2 bugs will be there at the time of release of product. Okay, so most of these activities, whatever the activities we have used, it is simply for improving the productivity ma. Okay, few bugs, fix bugs quickly, testing and uncovering. These all are the XP techniques. Okay, we are involving to improve our productivity, like by increasing the core quality and by removing that whatever the problems has been occurred in that. Okay, so we are doing some changes. Okay, according to that changes, is that changes will be supporting to the previous or the older version or not. Like that we are checking and we are going to be including in our code, right? If you do them as a part of XP, you won't have to do many of them, right? And more expensive activities that our team perform, such as like some exhaustive upfront requirements gathering phase and some code inspections or some separate bugs fixing phase. Okay, so here they will be using some part of the XP activities. Okay, even though whenever it is costly also they are going to be using if it is required, okay, to overcome the problems or to fix the bug rate, okay, and to do the code inspections, they will be doing some all gatherings, requirement gatherings, and team is going to be performing on that particular things, right? So these all are the ingredients where we are going to be using by involving the XP techniques, like write few bugs as we discussed, right? Eliminate the bug, fix bugs quickly, test and uncovering, right? So like that here, these are the 5 ingredients which are involving to improve the XP technologies, okay, to improve all the we are going to be using this XP techniques, right? Fix the bugs now, test your process, fix your process, and invert your expectations, right? So these all are the ingredients which we are going to be used when we are going to be releasing any bug free product, free product, and we are going to be providing some solutions or some interactions with the person or the stakeholder who is going to be promoting the product, or he who is going to be involving and working on that particular product. Here we are giving some information, how to use, what to use, where to implement, like these all things we are going to be doing the discussions with that, right? So that is about the bug free release. So how we are going to be releasing the product, okay, without any bugs. So right. So next topic is version control, right? So everyone knows what is this version control, right? So for example, our mobile has been developed with some version. Okay, again new things and the new changes, they have been updated and released in the new version again, right? So like that here we are giving some version names and we are adding the new requirements in that, okay, according to the customer feedback and the team development team, which they have given their own ideas, okay, to look and free, okay. For that purpose only here they are going to be including all the changes, right? So whenever they have released new version of the product into the market, definitely it have to support the old version also, okay. So they will be maintaining some central repositories now to work as a team. First of all, version control, so some teams will be working on them and coordinating the source code, means they will be doing some testing, they will be developing the code and including the new things in that, right, according to the customer or the stakeholder feedback, okay. They will be including all the important project artifacts in that. So here version control, simply it will be providing a central repository. Okay, so this version control, it will be maintaining the central repository, means whatever the changes we have done to that particular file, okay, means whatever the things we have changed, means it will be maintaining total history of the changes. Simply we can say that central repository is nothing but here all the files and the project documents will be located, and whatever the changes are done by the stakeholders, customer or by developers, all the changes history will be maintained here, right? So first of all, what is this version control means? This version control is nothing but it is coordinating some source code and performing some tests, right? Testings are going to be done on that, mainly on some important project artifacts, right? And this version control is mainly, it is providing a central repository. This central repository contains of all the files of project or whatever the related files will be there, okay, and whatever the changes are done, all history changes will be maintained there, right? And concurrent editing, so here what we are doing, we are simultaneously writing the code and doing some changes also, right? If that code is not working perfectly, we are going to be including that, okay, including some new requirements in that, or replacing that code into the different technology or different platform, okay, like that. Some concurrent editing will be possible, means whenever the multiple peoples are working to avoid all the changes, when they work on a file, they lock it to prevent anyone else from making the change important file, right? So concurrent editing. So here not only one person or two-person is working on that particular project or on that particular file. So whenever the multiple peoples are involving in that, if any changes will be done by the others, it will be a problematic, and we can't understand what the things are going on and what's happening inside, right? To avoid these all things, simply what they will be doing, they will be locking their file, right? So that we can avoid making changes from the for the important files, okay, whatever the changes, other person cannot involve in that and cannot do any changes in that, like that we are avoiding the changes by putting some locks, right? And next, time travel. So time travel means changes can be made in the file by going backward and forward at any point of time to fix the bug, right? Either a customer, we are saying that whenever we people are working on the project, definitely we are involving in the customer, right, till the end of the product until he is satisfied. If he is not satisfied, he is giving his requirement, so we are performing some backward and forward techniques and fixing that bugs, and we are going to be doing the changes for that particular files, right? So every history, every time will be noted, and whatever the changes they have done and whatever the bugs they have fixed, these all things we are going to be noted, right? So that is the time travel. And appropriate uses of branches. So whatever the branches are useful for the continuous integration and other code management task, okay, everything they will be every part they are going to be utilizing in their projects, right, to maintain that code and to run that code, whatever the things are required for the integration, everything they will be maintaining has the branches, like a testing department will be there, or development department will be there, release department will be there, or doing some gathering all the requirements, okay, analysis will be there, okay, like that they will be using different branches, okay, whenever they are integrating to the different technologies and using their projects, right? So that is the appropriate uses of branches, right? And results. So what happens with the results? Version control. When version control means, simply we are saying that it is a repository, whatever the changes we have done, okay, we are going to be storing there, right? So here, results. With good version practices, you are easily able to coordinate the changes with other members of the team. So whatever the changes are there, whatever the practices they have then done, easily you can coordinate with your team members. Okay, means by maintaining this version control, they can easily understand whatever the changes or whatever the things they have done. Easily they can see, by seeing that repository, they can get all the things, right? So contradiction. So concurrent editing is also safer and easier if you are practice continuous integration and have good test, right? So here concurrent editing is also safer, and we can say that it is also easy, right? And we can protect our data by giving some lock so that no person can involve in that and cannot do the changes. Sometimes safer, or sometimes it will create some problematics, right? So alternatives, there is no practical alternative to this version control. In this, no alternatives will be there, right? So version control, simply I said that it is one of the central repository where all the changes to the file will be happen, and they will be providing all the history of changes, right? And they will be controlling all the project version controls, right? to whatever the changes they have done, whatever the changes they have to update or they have eliminated, everything they will be maintaining in that, right? And in orderly, they are going to be processing with the developers, like to get some latest code from the server to do their works, run all the tests to confirm their code works, and then check in their changes. Okay, whatever the developers they are involving, they are focusing on the new or latest codes. Okay, they will be updating to that servers and they will be doing some test and running, and the changes and whatever the code has been replaced, they are going to be identified, right? So this process, simply we can call it as a continuous integration. Even though the product has been released, means here few developers or few members are working on that to do the new changes, to add the new changes, is that code is working or not, like that they will be performing something on that, right? So simply we can call this process as a continuous integration, and it is going to be occur several times a day for each pair, right? So version control, it is having some different terminologies, ma. Okay, the different terms and terminologies they have used in this total book, right? One is the repository, okay, wherever the your files we are going to be storing. Okay, master storage for all your files will be there, and history will be there. Okay, whatever the changes you have done, everything will be there. Your own history, own repository will be there. Simply we can say that each standalone project should have its own repository. Everyone will have some their own repository. In that they will be storing their files. Whatever the changes we have done, that will be there. Whatever the changes we have not done, that all things will be there. And second terminology is nothing but sandbox. Okay, sandbox is also, we can say that is a, it is a working copy. Okay, we are using it as like a copy and a working copy. A sandbox is what team members work out on their local development machines. So here they are going, they don't ever put a sandbox on a shared drive. Okay, so they are not putting anything on the shared drive. Why? Because other people want to develop and they make their own sandbox, right? So sandbox contains some copy of all the files. It is same as like a repository, but the name we are giving it has a sandbox, right? Particular time, at particular time, what file we have selected and which file we have used. Okay, these all things it is going to be maintained. And next, checkouts and check-ins will be there. So whenever you people are working on particular projects, there will be some checkouts, ma. Checkouts and check-in. You people are going to be logging and working on that particular project. Once it is completed, you are getting out from that of the repository, right? So checkouts, to create a sandbox, check out a copy of the repository in some version control system, and this term means like update and log. Okay, checkout means here update and log. Whatever the things we have done in that, we are going to be updating and logging, right? So here few are the commands which we are used for the sandbox whenever we are storing our file or getting our file or using that information or the files from that repositories. These are the commands which are helpful for us, right, to get or to work on that, right? So update is nothing but updating your sandbox to get all the latest changes from the repository. You can also update to a particular point in the past. Okay, old and present, everything will be there. And log prevents anybody from editing a file, right? So we can prevent from editing a file or concurrent editing. Check in or commit. Check in the file in your sandbox to save them into the repository. So whenever you are checking, okay, save your file into the repository once you have completed or updated some requirements in that file or a project. Okay, you have to do some check-in and commit, then it will be saved in the repository. Otherwise whatever the things you have done, it will not going to be saved in that repository, right? So revert your sandbox to throw away your changes. changes and return to the point of your last update. This is handy when you have broken into a local build and can't figure out how to get it working again. Sometimes reverting is faster than debugging, especially if you have checked in recently. So revert is it is also useful now whatever the changes you have done last or previous. So by revert, if we have lost anything, by this we can get it. Okay, it works faster than debugging. Tip or head. Okay, tip or head means here whenever we are storing our files or the data in the repository, at that time the files may are coming from top to bottom, or we can say that you will be getting that files from tip. Whatever the changes you have done or recent changes you have done by using some branches, okay, that all files will be coming at the head. Okay, starting లో వచ్చేస్తాయి. Or tag or label. A tag or label marks a particular time in the history of the repository, allowing you to easily access it again. So they will be maintaining all the tags and labels, right? Time of the history of the repository, when we have logged in, when we have used, how much data we have used. These are all things they are going to be providing the information by tag and label. Rollback. Rollback means simply here you people already you have seen in DBMS also, right? What is this rollback now? Here we can check in to remove it from the tip of the repository. The mechanisms for doing so varieties depending on the version control system you use, right? So branch means it is going to be occur, and when you're going to be splitting the repository, okay, or alternate history, a process is known as branching, and all the file exist in each branch, and you can edit the files in one branch independently of all other branches, right? Here branches, they will be maintaining all the independent files, and whatever the files are exist, you can edit independently and can use it, right? Merge. So whenever we are merging some multiple files to resolve a problems, okay, programmers will changing the file separately into some checking list, right? So second programmer will need to merge it in the first person changes. Means whatever the first person and second persons will be there, they will be working on that particular module or a project. If any changes have done by one person, then immediately we have to merge that project or a file, so that the second person can easily understand and he can see the changes in that, right? So these are the commands which are used for the sandbox whenever we are using whenever we are storing or viewing the history of changes of file, right? At that time these all are the commands supported and helpful for us, right? So concurrent editing means already you know, whenever the multiple developers are working on that particular file, if they want to do any modification or anything happen to that, okay, so they will be preventing it by using some locking models. Okay, with the help of these locking models, that person can we can prevent them, right? Instead of concurrent model or version controls, people will be allowing and using the same file, doing the changes in the same file. These all things will be happen, right? And automatically we have to merge whatever the changes we have done. Why? Because to overcome the overwritten, okay, overwritten should not be happen in that. That's why we are merging. And here merge two lines manually, okay, and continuous integrations will be there to reduce and to merge all the manageable whatever the test suits, and they are going to be working properly on that particular area or a particular module. These all things will be helpful, right? So time travel, right? Time travel means ability to go back in time. So it is also a most powerful use of version control, time travel according to the time, according to the plan we have to work, right, to reduce the bugs. So time travel is also useful for reproducing the bugs. And if somebody reports a bug and you can't reproduce it, try using the same version of the code that reporter is using. So whenever you are working on that particular project, if other has been trying to change and they have fixed the bug and you don't know, okay, so definitely there should be some report. By using that reports or the information, you can easily understand. All right, if you can reproduce the behavior in the old version but not in the current version, especially with a unit testing, especially with a unit test, you can be right, you can be confident that the bug is and will remain fixed. Okay, so like this here, time travel, with this we can go back and we can reproduce the same things, and whatever the changes we have done, that all things we can view, right? So the same thing will be applied on the whole project whenever the team is going to be working and they are using some version controls build system, right, to rebuild their old versions, and they are going to be using all the tools and updated version tools. It will be helpful whenever they are going to be changing the technique, instead of going back and checking all the changes. Okay, they will be using the update, right, update, and they will be working on that. And here's some natural, let's split the project into a multiple repository, perhaps for one each deliverable, or one for source code and one for documentation. This approach increases the opportunities for the things to get out to synchronization, update and commit actions, the whole team. So whenever the project is there, not only one person will be involving in that. What we are doing, the project we are going to be divided into some small parts, or we are splitting that into a multiple repository, and we are giving each repository or a module to the team. You have to look after about the source code, you have to check about the documentation, you have to check about this testings, and you will be focusing what to include, how to integrate, okay, like continuous integrations they will be focusing. And next, customers and version control. First of all, here customers data that includes the documentation notes on the requirements, technical writing such as manual and customer tests should go on in the repository. Whatever the requirements or whatever the analysis we have done, everything they will be maintaining some documentation and maintaining into the repository, so that the customer can easily use the version control system. Right, for example, one of the person, tortoise, he is going to be working on some windows client. That windows client is for like a open source and subversion. It is going to be controlling the system, and it will be providing the usage, how to use. Okay, the person who don't know about it, it will be providing the documentation and the information according to that instruction. They will be involved using that all open source subversion tools, right? So if the customer is not understand using a version control, then programmers can also create a pair of simple shell scripts or batch files, one of the update and one for commit, right? So customer is unable to understand about that version control, means here programmers they will be creating some shell scripts or some batch files, so that they can do some update and some commits in that. And they are going to be teaching the customer how to run, means here whenever we are releasing any products in the new version, here they will be giving developers who have developed that project or a product, they will be giving some demonstration how to use, where to use, where to implement. All these instructions are like a training. Simply, we can say that training they will be given to them how to use, right? So with that, they can easily understand and they can use that happily, right? So keep it clean. Okay, sandbox means whenever we are storing our all important ideas or information, okay, once we have done means we have to clear that. Okay, we should not load a bulk of information in that, and the code clean and ready to ship. It starts with our sandbox, right? Here whatever the projects we are working, everything will be stored in that sandbox, right? Without any errors we are going to be storing in that, right? Although we have to break the built in our sandbox in order to make progress, confined it to our sandbox, we can even minimize the broken builds in our sandbox. Right, and test driven, good test driven TDD methods they will be applying and 5 minutes working on that particular product, and they will be checking is that product is perfectly or not, and automatically they will be creating and releasing that code, right? And finally they are giving a message that ready to release. These all things can be happened from outside the world once we done with everything, otherwise we can't release perfectly, right? So in practice the code may be clean but the software itself won't be ready for the outside world. Okay, to happen this clean we have to work on that, we have to perform TDD method on that, right? And we have to reduce the defects, and stories will be half done, user interface elements will be missing, and some things entirely won't works, right? So appropriate uses of branches. Here, whatever the branches they are involving, best branches, they will be short-lived and they will be using into a small number of changes. And here they will be supporting to the old version of the softwares, and they are putting or fixing some bugs and doing all the minor enhancement of those versions. Totally, they are not changing the product. They are doing some small changes in that and making it as a useful. And branches can also be useful for a continuous integration and other code management tasks. This private branches live for than a day. Okay, whatever the third party or the outsourced person's help we have taken in that, okay, that is not going to be live for a long time, right? So we are going to be working on all the old version as well as the new versions that have to be support according to the requirements in the projects, right? So this is about the bug free release and version control. Right? Any doubts till now you can ask.